This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? No one's doing good.
You're pretty good.
I was gonna say this is depressing. Where's the energy, guys? Come on, pick it up. It's a beautiful day. It's the best day of the week. It's Wednesday. What do we got today, guys? We reviewing some calls. We doing some Q&A. What do we need? What's on our hearts? What do we need to work on? No one has a reason for jumping on the call. Let's hear it, Miguel. What's up?
Okay, so I have a question about BSLs, right? Like, is it better to build a BSL that I can send people to so I can nurture them over time before the sales call itself?
I mean, that's part of what your VSL can do, but I mean, are you making sales off of just directly getting people into your Instagram yet?
No, like I just did two,
So then,
but
so
my
then
closing rate is
don't
like
even worry.
9%.
So don't worry about a VSL. You know what I mean?
Shouldn't I?
You don't need to worry about that yet. Just like allocate, you want to allocate all of your time to the quickest income producing task right now, and you only want to build other assets when it alleviates some kind of constraint. And right now, I mean, just max your calendar out.
I mean, it's already maxed out. The issue is like my closing rate.
Okay. So work on getting a better close rate, not building a VSL.
But so my question is like, does the VSL help a lot or it doesn't? Because like the whole thing that I was going to do is build kind of a quick summary of what I'm doing right now, so they can see how it works, and then to change some beliefs that I know they have on the VSL itself. And then I just send it before the call.
It could help a little, but it's like it's a side solution to a problem of just like being better on the call.
Okay, I see.
Like just get good on the call and then you can do the whole VSL thing after. You could do it now, but at the end of the day, you're still just gonna have to get good on the call. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense.
Which is gonna be, it's a lot quicker to get good on call than to create and split test a VSL. Who knows? What if the VSL lowers your close rate? Because it just sucks.
Yeah, that's right too.
Because then you're gonna have to break down the VSL, get advice on it, bring it to Trey's calls, bring it to these calls. You're gonna have to make multiple versions of it. You're gonna have to test it. You're gonna have to see what the data is when you could just literally just do better on your next call.
Okay, so with that being said, like, how can I improve my closing rate? Because it's like 9%. It's awful.
Well, why do people buy from you?
So I have been getting like most of the objections are like I don't have the money to buy right now, and I try to get them on a payment plan, but it's like, oh no, I just want to figure out my budget on my own, so I know there is something more behind that.
So then it's a smokescreen.
Exactly.
Right? If they're not willing to actually work out the payments with you, then they, you know what I mean? They weren't gonna buy anyways. Do you have a call that we could listen to? One that's uploaded
I have
on a link?
a lot of them. Just one second. I have them on Fathom though, so just one second.
Yeah, go find them. While he's finding that, anyone else got any questions or calls they want to drop?
I'd have a question for you, brother.
Yep, let's hear
it. In the beginning of the call, like when you're in that introduction, you're trying to build like the best trust with the person on the other side of the call. Like, what's your tips on doing that without, just establishing good rapport without saying, "Hey, the weather's nice outside," in a way?
Like, how do you build rapport at the beginning of the call?
Yeah, like what are your takes on going about it instead of just saying, "Yeah, it's a nice, like, where are you from? Like, it's a nice day outside." Because I feel like sometimes I've seen a little bit of.
A lot of people think rapport is built just like at the beginning and then you jump into the call. Rapport is built throughout the entirety of the call.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And the easiest way to build rapport is just to go with the natural flow of the call and the natural flow of that person when they hop on. Like if you hop on and that person is like being friendly, they ask you something, like, then go with it, have that little back and forth answer, but never force it. There's no like, oh, we're going to talk about the weather, then we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about that. Literally you just want it to be natural. Think of meeting people. It's just like meeting someone face to face. Like you're not going there with a game plan of like, first we're going to talk about this, then we're going to talk about this, then we're going to talk about this. You're kind of just bumping into them, being like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You know what I mean? you know, and some people jumping straight into the call is something they would prefer and would actually build more rapport than trying to waste time doing the back and forth. And for some people, they would rather do a little back and forth before jumping in. So you kind of just feel it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? When you jump on the call, if there's nothing to talk about and there's like some dead air, you could just be like, well, listen, man, it's nice to meet you. Looking forward to chatting with you. And if you'd like, we can kind of just jump right in and get things going. Cool.
Yeah,
But
you
if you
get
jump
a
on,
vibe for
yeah, but if you jump on and the guy's super friendly, he's like, "Oh, Charles, how you doing?" And good, man. How are you? And he's like, "Oh, I'm good. You know, today, you know, I just got finished doing this. What about you?" I'll be like, "Cool, man. Yeah, I just finished up at the gym, man. You know, and if it flows, oh, what did you work on? Let's say he said he was at the gym. Oh, what'd you work on today?
Yeah.
Oh, I did back. Cool. Like, you know what I mean? If it flows like that, then do the back and forth, and then eventually just be like, "Cool, man. Like, well, yeah, if you're ready to jump in, we can get things started." Or if he jumps on and he's just silent, and you're like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey." Like, cool, man. Well, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, looking forward to chatting. We can jump in. Like, I would literally just start the call if there's no
Yeah.
like instant connection there. Like, you just go with it. But like, if
Perfect.
you force it, if the guy comes in super like stoic and direct, and you're just like, "How's the weather?" He's gonna be like, "Shut
Oh,
up."
it wasn't more so that that was the question. It was just like sometimes like people you try to
Yeah.
so instead of just wasting that time, just go straight into it.
Just go straight into it because people, what is building rapport? It's someone enjoying the conversation with you, and someone who wants to get straight to the point and save time and get through it would enjoy the conversation more if that's what happened,
Yeah.
right?
Instead of
If
tiptoeing around it.
someone enjoys the back and forth and enjoys building a deep, like a bit of a relationship, would enjoy the back and forth. You know what I mean? So that's why you just feel it out and be natural.
Got it. Thank you, bro.
Cool. What else we got for questions?
I just found it.
You got a call? Yeah,
Yeah,
drop it,
so I
man.
have two. I have one where it's like a trust rejection that I try to handle, and then at the end he told me like, oh no, I just have another call with another guy that is similar as you. Then I asked for the same guy and I didn't find it online. And the second one is he told me he just cannot afford that. So which one do you wanna check?
Trust ones are always fun. Yeah, let's hear that. I know we
Okay,
did a
awesome.
lot on financial objections the other day, so
That's all right. So you wanna hear from the beginning or
do you want? Can you just drop me the link so I can kind of?
100%? Yeah. Okay. Yes, here. Okay. Here we go.
And just for the recording for everyone here, quick synopsis on what you saw.
What did you say?
Yeah, just for the recording and everyone here, could you quickly explain what you sell?
Yeah, so I help salesmen to get more leads and all of that, but at the end of the day, it's like a scalar income.
Cool.
This meeting is being recorded.
How's it going?
Yeah, I can hear you. One second,
Awesome,
just
man.
my camera's not set up.
That's fine.
I don't even know where it is. I moved in recently, so it's a new place.
What's that?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I just have to find it.
100%.
Little awkward start at the beginning here, I'd
Yeah,
say.
he
You know?
takes a lot of time setting up the camera.
Yeah, I would have just, you know, kicked it off. Oh, camera's not set up. Would have been like, cool, you got one? Oh yeah, give me a second, let me plug it in. Okay, cool. And I would have just waited, you know. So it's a little back and forth, is a little awkward. Not too big of a deal though.
You have your camera on, right? It's just like it shows OBS. Or you have your camera
Looks like it
on
lagged a bit.
your computer, right? And you're muted just in
I don't think this one is gonna work. I think the audio messed up.
Yeah, he's fixing his microphone on that one. Is it?
No,
Oh yeah,
it
I don't know.
looks like through
Yeah.
the whole call.
It was
You have
pretty
another
bad.
one?
Yeah, I have more. Just one second.
Cool. Anyone got a question while he's grabbing that? Or anyone have a call they want reviewed?
Dude, I just wanted to give some thanks and praise from a couple of call we had with you a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, used some of your wizardry the next day, and yeah, got like an immediate close and another one in the kind of like locked in for a couple of months time. But yeah, I just wanted to say specifically where you helped, because I think this is where a lot of people struggle. Number one was the transition from the like basically like going through like the golden question to the actual transition to the offer, to where you like basically you ask them if they're cool with you, like where do they want to take it, kind of like that open question. I thought that was really cool, and that seemed to work really well. And then secondly was like at the end, getting them to the last question I ask is like, okay, cool. Like now what would you bring to our community? And then completely pushing it back on them. So basically it completely ends the call with them selling themselves to me. And that was again, really felt like two kind of like areas where I was really struggling in calls. And now they're like, feels really natural now. So thank you.
100%. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Almost as if what I'm saying works. It's good. It's good. Definitely implement it. You'll see some good results from it. Let's jump into this one. Looks like there's a Fathom in here. I'll add it. Whatever. Let's record it.
All right, real quick. Can you review what you shared with Tom the other day? Like what you just mentioned, Tom, like the transition. I think that's something I think about too. That transition.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have the recordings posted, and I think there's one more that I haven't posted yet, which I'll post. I have all my recordings posted in school of the calls I did, so definitely go back and watch it. But just to quickly break it down, once you've kind of gone through where they're at, where they want to be, solutions, all that stuff that they've tried, like what's holding them back, instead of just like a lot of people, what they do is they just like go into their pitch. They're just like, okay, cool, well, can I give you thoughts? Yeah, I definitely think I can help you, and this is how. And then they just like start pitching. But the way I like to do it is starting off the same way. Hey, can I give you some thoughts? Give them a high level overview of like what they need to do, get their agreement on it. So I'd be like, dude, honestly, you really just need to do X, Y, and Z. Let's say we're talking about CB. I'd be like, dude, honestly, you really just need like a consistent, predictable way to bring in clients and build your audience at the same time so that you can hit XYZ goal that you said you wanted. You know what I mean? And then usually they'd be like, yeah, dude, 100%. Like, you're so right. I'd be like, well, listen, I mean, I could break down A to Z exactly what it would look like for us to kind of work together and do that. And like, I'd plug in their goal and hit XYZ goal. But just let me know, where do you want to go from here? And then they're asking you to pitch by being like, yeah, tell me, dude, like, what's the plan? How can we do this together? And then that's when you start your pitch by just saying like, well, listen, there's really going to be a certain amount of pillars, whether it's 3, 4 pillars is usually a good number. 3 is probably the best one. So then you'd start off by just saying, well, dude, there's really 3 things that we're going to need to do to bring you from where you are to where you want to be. And then you just start your pitch that way. That's kind of like how I transition into the pitch, because it gives them the ability to feel in control. And they can't, like, a lot of people, they look at sales and pitching as a negative, and then you can feel the energy of the call drop when it's like, okay, here's a sales pitch, here comes the sales guy, right? So to avoid that like drop and to avoid that like anticipation, they come into the pitch with a completely different energy because they literally asked you to do it. You didn't just try to shove it towards them. You were just like, and sometimes you can plug in a case study there. You can do here's my thoughts, get their agreement, and be like, well, listen, man, just like the one person I worked with, or just like this person I know who overcame that same problem in this way. But yeah, I mean, if you'd like, I can break it down, but you let me know where you want to go. And then they're saying, yes, please tell me. They're coming into that presentation with a totally different energy. And then I also do it again after the presentation, where I'm just like really getting their buy-in, really tying down that the presentation I just gave is exactly what they need, exactly what they want. And then I'm ending it off with pretty much the same thing. I'm saying, well, listen, dude, I feel good. I think this is a great fit for you. You feel like you said you feel good. This is exactly what you need to hit XYZ goal. But, I could explain exactly what it would look like and what we need to do to get started. today, but like you let me know like where do you want to go from here? Oh yeah, dude, give me the price. Let me know like how do I get started. Cool. And then I drop the price again. They asked me to sell them. They asked me to give them the price, which again they feel more in control rather than this is just like a sales guy trying to push this on to me. Does that make sense?
Right. That makes a lot of sense. It's really good.
Cool. Awesome. You ready to jump into Miguel's call? Miguel, tell me, what is this the one where he said he didn't have money, or what was this one?
Yes, this is the one. Like he was pretty interested to be honest, and then he didn't have quote unquote money.
What's with the background?
His background?
Yours.
What happened with the background?
Yeah. Why is it like this?
Oh,
Like you look
oh,
like
because I
you're
just
in.
changed.
You know when
Yeah.
Neo is like in that white room from the Matrix? Like that's what you look like you're at right now.
Yeah, I just changed the background because of the same reason. Like I have been doing calls without background, so I've
It's
just changed the background as of right now.
like you want to remove anything that'll just make people feel like off about you. Like if I was on a call and the guy was just like, I'd be like, is this an AI that I'm talking to? Like what is this?
Yeah.
Like it's just weird. Like where you're at now, perfectly fine. Here it's
Okay.
just I'd feel so weird. I'd be like, what is this, dude? Like where is this guy? And a lot of
Yeah.
times blurry backgrounds never help, or like fake backgrounds never help because people are always just like, what does this guy gotta hide?
Yeah.
Why is he hiding where he's at? For all he knows, this could be a green screen and you could be like in some like a basement with like a destroy, like you know what I mean, you could be like a sewer. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just show where you're at, be confident about where you're at. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be great. It could just literally be a solid wall, but like let it be real. Like you're literally in the matrix.
Hey Miguel,
Yep. How's it going, man? Can you hear me?
you can hear me? Perfect.
I can
Wait,
hear you.
let me just get my AirPods going on. Like I said, I'm
Awesome.
just downloading Zoom, so let me just get them quick too. You got time right
100%,
now?
man. 100%, man. No worries.
How was the gym?
It was pretty like packed to be honest.
First thing, tell him to turn his light on, man. like, dude, I can barely see you. Where are you right now? Like, I would just crack a joke about it. I'd be like, where are you right now? In a cave? Like, I can't see anything. Get him to turn his light on. Cause like, you can't talk to someone like that. He's kind of just like on his phone. It's like ruffling around. He's like in the dark, maybe laying in bed. Like, get him to pay attention and be present. Like you wouldn't think about like doing a meeting with anyone of status. You wouldn't show up like that. You know what I mean? Like if he had to show up to talk to someone who he viewed as high status or someone that was like an idol or someone that he was a fan of, he wouldn't show up like that. So don't let people show up like that for you. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, makes sense.
whatever you tolerate is how people are going to show up. You know, I wouldn't tolerate someone showing up like that at all.
What time is there? Like it's pretty dark.
Well,
you
here
go.
I'm in Canada right now, so sorry. Where are you from, by the way?
I'm right now in the States.
Yeah, it's like you own a light switch, so let's turn it on. Because he's outside, like you know what I mean? It's like I'm in Canada too. Like if I did a call at night, like I've got a light, you know.
From the States? Okay.
In what city in
Oh,
Canada are you?
I'm
There we
from
go.
Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Wow.
Yeah,
I think it's
so
kind of cold, right?
man, like right now, because I'm in my room, right? So it's a little bit cold, a little bit chilly. Like I'm
Yeah.
actually wrapped up under a blanket right now.
I still live in
Yeah.
Canada, dude, and Canada just so
And real quick as well, I know I'm being nitpicky about this part. You could even make a joke and be like, dude, do you have anywhere you can kind of just like sit down and prop the phone up? Like you're making me dizzy with all the shaking around. Like, can we be able to just sit down, have a chat? Oh yeah, sorry about that, man. Sure. Yeah, let me just prop this up. Or I'd even ask him to get on his computer, you know?
so
Okay.
cold.
No, it's wait, you used to live in Toronto?
Yeah.
Man, how come you moved?
Because of taxes and also because it's too cold, man. I
Taxes.
just
You know what, Miguel? You're a crazy person. As soon as you said taxes, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. It's a little crazy up here. It's a little crazy up here.
yeah, man, it's so
Yeah,
crazy.
perfect.
You want all
So,
your money.
yeah, you really can't. That's the number one thing that they told me when I first started working. They told me if you can somehow find a way to
Mhm.
shelter majority of your money from taxes,
Yeah.
do it. Do it.
Exactly.
I was like, exactly, right? And I'm like, man, I don't even know how to start that. So please teach me. Teach me. But yeah, man,
Yeah, man,
I
it's
just,
insane.
yeah, I actually forgot my headphones at my girlfriend's place here, so hopefully you can hear me clearly right now.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, man. So if you are ready, we can just do this off.
Oh, man, I'm always ready here. Always ready.
Awesome.
But first of all, am I going to be needing to take down notes or like what's up? What's going to happen?
So I'm gonna tell you how the call is gonna go. How
Mhm.
this call usually go is I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions so I can understand
Mhm.
where you are right now, where you wanna go,
Yeah.
and what's kind of stopping you from getting there, right?
Mhm.
Just to see if there's any way that I can serve you. And
Of course.
if it makes sense, if I think I can
Mhm.
help you, then I'll make your
Mhm.
number so we can get started working today on the call. So fair?
Fair. Sounds fair.
Awesome. And just so we're gonna wait.
Oh,
Next
hey
time
Miguel,
or
so sorry,
please
you're
respect for
chopping up right
everybody's
now.
time.
Sorry, I couldn't
Like,
hear you
are you
for like
there?
the last 10
Are you
seconds.
now?
You chopped out there.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
So
let me just fix my internet
uh-huh.
too.
100%, man.
There you go. What's up?
Awesome.
Did I carry on?
Yeah, so as I said, like, just so we kind of don't waste anybody's time and we're respectful with everybody's
Yes,
time.
correct.
Like,
Mhm.
are you the sole decision maker here, or does somebody else need to be present on this call?
No, I'm the sole decision maker here.
Awesome, man. So yeah, let's begin. So
Mhm.
tell me a quick overview what's going on, how I can help you. What are we trying to solve here?
Of course. So, like I said last night here, I'm new to the car industry. I've only been working as a sales for 3 months. And so far, I've been seeing slow growth. I've been trying to do Facebook marketing. I actually tried doing Facebook page with doing ad sets. I didn't see much success with that. And so far, I'm not getting as much traction as I would like. So I'm not talking to as much qualified customers as I would like. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can scale and learn how to move forward from now. Because like I said, I don't have much guidance and I'm trying to better myself here. So I'm wondering what my next step would be here, Miguel.
Okay, I see.
Mhm.
So with that being said, like, for how long have you been trying to reach out to qualified buyers? Like, for how long has this been an issue for you?
For the past 3 months, I've been trying everything. I've been watching YouTube videos. I've actually watched Andy Elliott also. I signed up for some of his courses there, and I saw that you laugh there. You know, like, good guy, awesome guy. But like, I remember watching a video of yours and like on your IG there and saying like you can master all the word tracks, all the scripts, but if you don't even know how to do the basics yet, none of those will apply.
Yeah.
Right? So right now, I have those courses, but I don't have anyone to
To
apply
touch
them to. Exactly.
Okay, I see.
So exactly.
So why do you think it didn't work? Like, Facebook Marketplace, the ads, Facebook marketing.
So first thing I want to do here is I want to press on pain by getting more understanding, right? You asked a timeline of pain question, which was how long have you been trying this? 3 months. That question is so much more powerful after digging into the problem. So the way I see it and the way I like think about it in my brain is it's like get the problem, get to the bottom of the problem, all the details of it, the who, what, where, when, why, then get the frequency of that problem or duration of that problem. And those two things combined is what creates the pain point, right? So for example, what you want to do is just listen to something he said, like listen to everything he said and choose key things to get more details about so you have more context around what's actually going on and what his problem is. Does that make sense, Miguel?
Yeah, so it will be like, what will you ask in this scenario?
Yeah, if I'm just, well, first of all, you want to start asking yourself, do I fully understand what he just said? Right? So what are the things he said so far?
So he said he has tried for 3 months Facebook ads marketplace,
Mhm.
and he also has tried other sales courses. He also watched a video of mine where I talk about line out the foundations, which is attracting customers first, or you won't be able to apply your sales skills.
Yeah, so he said he's tried
Yeah.
Facebook and he's not talking to qualified customers. What does that mean?
That, oh yeah, okay. I guess that means that he's like not selling enough cars, or that he's not getting enough opportunities to sell more cars.
Well, the answer is you don't know.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
just assuming. You're just guessing what that means. So I can't, like, I got to figure out. So that's what I'd ask you. That's the first thing I'd be like, okay, so you tried Facebook. Tell me about that. Like, what did you actually do on Facebook? Right? You say you're not talking to qualified customers. What do you mean? Because there's a slew of possibilities within that where you can, one, identify the real problem, and two, identify, like, financially qualify as well. For example, if I say I tried Facebook and it didn't work, why didn't it work for me? What's your answer to that? What do you think?
It depends on, like, because I don't know what kind of ads you run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It depends. Now, if I gave you more context and I said, yeah, dude, I spent like $10 on Facebook and didn't get any sales. That context changes a lot of things, right? You're like, well, dude,
Yeah.
you spent $10, right? Versus I spent $10,000 and nothing happened. Well, maybe it's the actual ads, your copy, your graphics. That context alone completely changes what he needs to do to get results So I have to just step out and just get full context, full understanding before I ask anything else or before I give any advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see.
So not only for that, but also that's how you build trust, is by getting details. It's how you build trust and how you build urgency. And there's two reasons for that. One, if you went into a doctor's office and you said, "Doctor, my leg hurts," and the doctor said, "Cool, Miguel, take this pill," would you take it?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
Just he only knows my legs hurting, nothing else. Like he doesn't even know why or where or like, nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you know that he doesn't have full context, making your trust in his solution not there. Like you can't trust the solution because you understand that he doesn't understand.
I see.
But if he asked you a million questions and you're like, dude, this guy couldn't possibly have any more deeper understanding on this, you're a lot more likely to trust his solution. And there's two things that build trust. It's one, they have to see you as an authority. And two, they have to understand that you have context on their situation in particular. Right? So one, you have full context, so they know that you know, which means they're like, okay, he understands my situation and he's an expert on car sales. Therefore, I should probably listen to what Miguel has to say. But if either of those are missing, then trust is severely lacking and there's no reason for them to buy. And maybe you do get context, but I'm just pointing that out here. The first thing we want to do is just ask for more context. That's how we build trust. And the second part, when I said it builds urgency, is because time under tension, them sitting in pain, them feeling and eliciting the emotion to actually want to take action by the time you get to the end of the call. Because there's a lot of logic to sales, but it's majority emotion. More logic on B2B than B2C, but there's still emotions that have to come from it in order for someone to buy. And that emotion is created through time under tension. For example, who here has watched a sad movie on Netflix that made them feel sad? Anyone? Couple of you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
100%. Now, answer me this. Did you read the Netflix description of the movie and immediately feel sad? No, of course not. But what made you sad was actually experiencing and going through the movie and having a duration of time that those emotions or those things were being experienced by you, and you were thinking about the sad thoughts that actually made you outwardly sad. Same thing like in the gym. And I've explained this on a few calls already. You can take 10-pound dumbbells and curl them pretty easily if you're doing 10 reps. But if you took the weight and you took an hour per rep and it took you 10 hours to do the 10 reps, by the time you did the 10th rep, your arms would be falling off. They'd be burning. What changed? Was it the reps? Was it the weight? Or was it just the time under tension, the time you spent in it that made it feel more difficult, made it feel harder, made you want to just drop that weight, throw it down, get rid of it, made you want to get out of that situation? It was the time under tension, right? So the same thing on the sales call. As we ask them more things about the problem they're facing and the goals that they want to achieve, we're pressing on both. We're pressing on the problem and the desired situation. As we press on each side of things, the longer they spend talking about it, the more they feel the pain of the problem, and the more they desire the goals, and the more the more they want to just get out of or run towards the thing that's going to get them in the situation they want to be in. So it's multiple things that are happening. It's building the urgency. It's building the trust. And that can all be done by having confidence in them seeing you as an authority, but then also just getting context around their situation and around their goals, and really asking why multiple times, asking what they mean by that multiple times, and summed up by just getting complete full clarity. Does that make sense to everyone? We get some audible. I can't see all of you right now. We get some audible answers.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Anyone
makes
have any
100%.
questions on that?
What about authority? Like,
Say
how
that
do
again.
they perceive you? Like, what about authority? Like, how do they perceive you as an authority? Like, just be
By
confident
asking those types of questions is one easy way. Because
Okay.
only someone who really knew what they were doing would ask for context before they gave any advice. And would ask really good questions that show that they're listening. And it's also like how you carry yourself, your demeanor. There's lots of things that go into authority. But yeah, let's keep listening and see how the rest of the call goes.
Like,
Mhm.
what happened with those?
Well, I'm very new to everything in Facebook marketing. Like, I've never used Facebook marketing ever. And I only started using it when I first started my position. So everything's really brand new to me. And like I said, I tried doing the Facebook ad campaigns, and I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong with that, but I'm just not seeing. So basically, I tried it 2 times already. I spent about $60 and I got zero leads
Sure.
from it. Zero
Oh,
leads. So I don't know if there's like a little trick on how to do the Facebook like marketing ads, but like I said, I spent $60. I reached over, like when I was looking at the stats, I reached over 6,000 people, but zero leads from it.
so it's not even a
Like
lot,
none.
I guess.
Well, one person messaged me just to say,
Yeah.
like, it's just to kind of fuck around. This is sorry for the language, by the way, but just to fuck
Fine.
around. And I was like, wow, wasting my time.
Yeah.
Right. And after seeing that type of result, of course, right, it's very discouraging. So I was like,
Yeah.
man, I kind of don't want to try it again, because if I do it again and I don't see I don't see any results from it, it's just going to put me down.
100%.
Mhm.
Okay. So besides you being brand new in marketing and all of that, what do you
Mhm.
think this campaign didn't work?
I'm
If it makes sense.
Miguel, I'm pretty sure it's just because I didn't advertise properly, I guess you call it. Like, maybe I didn't just use the right.
And why do you, in the question of why do you think things didn't work, or what do you think's holding you back, is a good question. But in the beginning, like this early in the call, I'd rather you just ask for context continually so that you have the context to be able to tell him why it didn't work. That's how people are going to see you as an authority, is when you can be like, oh, based on all the information you gave me, like this is why stuff didn't work. This is what you need to do, versus why do you think, why do you think, why do you think? You know what I mean?
the right type of
Because
ads. Like,
you're like asking them for feedback rather than just taking it. Just taking the information and being able to be like, okay, this is what needs to be done here. Based on my experience, based on my knowledge, based on everything I've done, this is what needs to be done here. You know what I mean?
a right way to advertise myself, I guess you would call it, like that.
Yeah. So what
So
type
I'm
of
pretty sure that's where I went wrong.
so what type of ads do you run? Like,
So, for example, right, so almost 2 months ago, we had hail that came down on us.
Okay.
And so my dealership was doing a hail sale.
Mhm.
So, of course, right, I wanted to advertise that to everyone that we're having a hail sale. Of course, right, great savings. Yes, damaged cars, but you're saving tons of money,
Mhm.
right? So that's the first ad that I ran. And like I said, I spent $30 on that, got zero traction.
oh,
So, and then the next ad that I ran, well, no, the first ad that I ran was me introducing myself as a salesperson at my dealership, just, so I can reach out to different people and to let them know that, hey, this is me, this is my face, I work here, I need cars. If you know anyone, you know where to find me.
Mhm.
And that was the second ad that I ran. And like I said, zero leads from that too.
it's pretty much like videos and all that.
Basically.
After that, do you have any website, any funnels, or what
Like, when
was
you,
kind of, yeah.
and fun, like, what do you mean by that?
Let's say a website or something,
Mhm.
or I mean, what was like the call to action? What did they reach out to you?
It would be I'm pretty sure I set it up for them to message through Facebook and not do anything else.
So you didn't qualify before?
No, like when you say qualify, like, 'cause I'm very new to this, so can you just break that down for me then?
Yeah, qualify, like you're getting the information beforehand,
Mhm.
like grades or like a mini grade application beforehand.
Yeah, but that's right. No one actually messaged me. I couldn't qualify anyone because, like I said, there was no one to qualify to because I hit no one with that ad. Those ads, really.
Okay, I see. But you also don't have that kind of landing page where you can qualify people, I guess, on Autopilot.
No, none of that. Well,
Okay.
but of course, right, I rely on one of my dealerships, their own type of lead system, and they have their own system that I can use.
I
But
see.
then again, there is other people in my dealership too that go grab it too. So it's kind of like first come, first serve. And sometimes I can't grab them because there's other people who can grab them faster than I can. So it's just very hard to kind of get started when there's other people in the industry and in my dealership that have been there for years and have their own type of customer base, their own funnels. When it has to me, right, I have none, zero. I'm starting from scratch, basically.
I see. Awesome, man. So what else have you tried just to reach out more qualified customers?
So I'm also like I'm starting to dabble my toes into just using Instagram also because I know that if I run ads on Facebook, it would also run through my Instagram. So I'm just trying to start up my Instagram page for my sales, and I'm still working on it. So I'm still not 100% finished up. So probably today I'll probably get that finished up already.
Okay,
But
so
those are the only things I've tried so far.
so why have you done this Instagram page already?
At first, I just kind of honestly, I was very hesitant doing it because I didn't know if I would be getting. Because like I said, right after doing that Facebook ad marketing, it kind of discouraged me to try with the Instagram. So I only, like I said, it was only a couple days ago where I just fully committed into making the Instagram. And so I'm very new to Instagram also on how to do their marketing also. But like I said, I'm willing to learn.
Okay. Awesome, man. Just to, I can make sure that I'm tracking everything correctly, right? So as of right now, you have been in sales for 3 months, right? The issue that you have right now is about marketing. You don't know how to reach out more qualified customers, people who want to buy cars also, and it's taking a lot of time.
Just personally for me, like I hate recaps. I don't do it at all ever. First, it's just a personal thing for me, just because, I mean, people always just tune out usually when you do it, and the whole, like, if you think of the reason for it and what makes it valuable is you want to use it to show that you understand the situation and that you're hearing them and that you're listening. When you can just do that through like good questions, like really good questions will show that you're listening far better and keep the conversation flowing a lot better than recaps, unless there's something that you need to quickly recap. But to do like a overarching, all right, so from the top you're here to this to this to this, I stopped doing that a long time ago. It's just not as useful as just asking great questions.
Time to learn how to do marketing effectively. The first campaign you run, you spend $30, you got zero. Like no one reaching out to you. The second campaign happened the same. Now they're gonna try Instagram, but you have this fear of the same happening again. That you invest money and again having nothing back, I guess. So I guess my next question is, how many cars did you sell last month?
Last month, I actually
Good job here chunking down on exactly what's going on.
had a rough. I'm very honest with you, Miguel. I had a very rough last month. Like I only was able to do 2 sold enrolled because I was only at work for a solid week or so because I had to deal with personal family matters. So I was able only to do 2 sold enrolled, like I said, for the whole entire month.
Well, what about the previous one?
And the previous one, I did 4.
Okay. What about the previous one?
I did 4 again too.
So you're on average like 4 to 3 cars a month, I guess.
Basically, and like right now, it was kind of a big shock to me because for every month, you know how they set targets for you, right? I haven't even hit 5 because 5 was always my target, and then suddenly they bumped me up to 7. So right away, right, I'm like, okay, if I haven't even been able to hit 5 yet, 7 now. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to step it up a little bit. And now I'm just kind of like, okay, how do I reach 7 now, right? So that's why I'm reaching out to you to see if there's something that I'm doing wrong or if there's something that I can do differently now.
100%. Yeah. So with that being said, now let me know more about your point B. Like, what's your goal here?
So opportunity there to get some massive pain, right? So he just said he sold 4. He was selling 4 consistently, and then 1 month he went to 2. I would have been like, dude, how much do you make commission like per car sold? I make X amount. Okay, so you lost X amount of dollars last month? Yeah. Did that put you in a tough spot financially at all? Yeah, man, I had to miss some bills. Like, you know what I mean? Really, really good spot to extract some pain before you transition there. Any questions on that? Or does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I have a question about whenever they ask questions about it. I mean, the same question that he just asked, like, what's kind of the next step I should do? And then I just skip his question. So, and those type of questions, should I answer or? Because it's like, I think he kind of breaks rapport too.
Right? So
right here where he says, like, I'm wondering if there's something I can do differently.
Yes. Because I just said like. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man, you could just you can use that as a segue and just be like, yeah, man, that's what we're here to do. Would love to just hear a little bit more about exactly what you're looking for, and then I can let you know what makes the most sense to get you there.
Makes sense. Okay.
You know, I mean, that's like, you can't tell him what to do if you don't even know what his goals and his targets are. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Charles, you had a question about the pain section there I was talking about?
Yeah, it's like, where's that fine line in between like you pressing too much and like them seeing you negatively in a way, or like just probing emotionally into that pain without necessarily like getting them too deep and like literally crying or like.
I don't know. People cry on my calls all the time. I had someone cry yesterday I jumped on a call with one of the closers and the guy cried. You know, it's like people
Okay,
cry
all
all
right.
the time.
Just wanted to know your take or where, like, okay, if they cry, they cry. All right, but that's what was happening. I just wanted to know if it was a bad. It was a good thing, but I just wanted to know if that was
Yeah, I
a
mean,
good
if
thing. Okay.
it, you know, if we dig in and it brings out so much emotion that they cry, it is what it is. Just, you know, come be there for them, hold that space for
Got
them.
it.
You
Perfect.
know, it just shows how important it is to them, and reinforces the reason why they need to do this. You know, if it's that big of a thing.
Okay. All right. Definitely have to break through that. Like, I could go there. I just didn't allow myself to go there because I didn't want them to like get too like I wanted to be emotional, but now I know I can go a bit deeper.
Oh, dude, you can go. Man, I've had people air out so much super deep things about themselves
Yeah.
on these calls. And it's never a question of like going too deep. It's like how you get there. And
Got it.
the way to get there, and they'll never get mad at you, is all I'm doing is asking them to tell me more about the thing they brought up. I didn't bring it up. They brought it up. He said he made half his income last month. All I'm
True.
doing is asking for, like, you know what I mean? I didn't say,
Yep.
hey, so have your sales dipped lately? What's going on? Right? It's
always
like
their
if
idea.
someone's there and they're just like, yeah, man, like I really want to get this down, be able to take care of my family. Then you ask like, oh, tell me about your family, versus, oh, you're struggling with this? Do you have a family? You know what I mean? They'll be like, well,
Yeah.
listen, why are you trying to pry? Versus they brought it up. You know what I mean? Oh yeah,
It's the way
you
it's
know, my wife.
framed.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, my wife, you know, she knows I've been struggling with this. Like, oh, she knows. What does she think about it? Versus, do you have a wife? Does she know? Like, you know what I mean? It's totally different frame to get into that pain, and they're always going to be open to because you're taking it an inch deeper with each question rather than trying to skip there. And I've
Got it.
never had someone really get mad about that. Think of once I've had someone do it. You know?
All right, perfect. Yeah, I thought it was more like a general question, but they've never been mad. It's just if you allow the space for them there, then if you're on their team,
Yeah.
on their side,
I
it
mean,
helps
obviously,
them
if they
out a lot.
respond and like, I don't really want to talk about it, you obviously don't keep going. But you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Don't be afraid. Thing
Yeah.
is, you have to get comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations if you want to get really, really good. Because that's what you're
All right,
doing.
that,
You're leading people and you're guiding people. And the biggest reason why people are failing at what they do is because there's like either mental shifts they need to make, there's things they need to get over, things they need to get past, and you have to be willing to call them out on it, right? Miguel was asking about authority before. Being authoritative is having that doctor frame of like telling people what they need and not being afraid to hurt their feelings in the process. You know what I mean? That's what builds trust. That's what builds authority. Like, you're gonna trust the guy way more that's willing to tell you to your face like what you need to hear, even if it hurts your feelings, than the guy who knows you have the problem but will try to like butter you up. You're gonna be like, I don't like this guy's just buttering me up to get something from me, versus, dude, this guy's willing to like lose the sale to tell me what I need to hear. That's why I need to buy from this person. Because I know that money or not, he's going to do what's best for me because he's doing it right now on this call. He's willing to risk losing the sale to tell me what I need to hear. So
yeah.
I need to move forward with this guy because that's, you know, it's not fake.
Yeah, that's
right?
what I needed to hear, man. Yeah, for sure.
Like I had
Makes
one
sense.
guy and, you know, he kept, I was asking some questions and he was just like, dude, why you keep asking about that? You know, like, let's just get to the end. Let's get to the price. I want to buy it. You know, you're going to get your commissions. You know, it's all good. Like, I know you just want to make money. You're going to make the money. And I told him, and I think it was a 3K offer that I was selling. And I was like, dude, I could care less about you paying 3K. I'm good. Like, I'll be
Yeah.
fine whether you buy or not. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you're someone that's going to be a good fit for this community. And I want to make sure that not only are you going to be a good fit, but you're going to be a positive influence on the community and actually go through the program and get results, because I don't want to bring people in that isn't going to be a good fit and isn't going to go through materials and isn't going to get results, because that's just a waste of everybody's time. I could care less about the 3K. And he immediately started answering all my questions and bought.
Yeah, the guard just automatically drops.
Guard just dropped down. Because what would a normal
Got it.
salesperson do? They'd be like, "Oh, okay, no problem, sir.
Push.
No problem, sir.
Yeah.
Let's you know, I won't ask about it again. Let's and then we continue with the call and then try to sell him, and then he'd be like, for lack of better words, this guy's a bitch, and they're not gonna, you know what I mean? They're not gonna
Yeah,
buy.
no, for
You
sure.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yep.
Like, for example, another one, I had a guy, he was, we got to the end of the call, we went through everything. At the end of the call, he was like, how do I know this isn't a scam? What would normal
Yeah.
people do? Well, we got this, these are all the reasons why it's not a scam. You know what? I always ask this when someone says, how do I know it's not a scam? I say, well, let's say I was talking to you, I'd be like, well, Charles, what could I tell you that would convince you it's not? Usually
Throw
they'd
it
be like,
back.
oh, there's nothing you could really say. And I'd be like, so then why did you ask me that question?
That's good.
Like, there's nothing I could tell you I was like, what could I tell you right now to convince you 100% that it's not? Nothing. Okay, so why are you asking me that? Like, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah. And it's
and
just
then I
like a
usually-
fear.
Yeah. And I usually follow up with it. I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, like, we're going to keep helping people. I know the results we get. I know that we have the best thing out here, or it's what we have is friggin' amazing. It's awesome. And I know that if you join and you put in, like, and you went through it, you would change your life, and it's what you really need to do, frankly. But at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you it's not. Like, it's not a scam, but that's how you want to be.
Yeah.
You know, because like I'll be good. Like, I want to see you win, but that's up to you.
You let go of any need, like any energy that's
Yeah.
like needy. And they're like, oh, okay, well,
Well, it's like, yeah, it's like you just be willing to let go of the sale. It's like, dude, I'm not gonna sit
Yep.
here. I told him, like, dude, what do you want me to do? Sit here for 10 minutes and try to tell you all the ways that it's not? Like, what do you want me to do? What are we doing
Yeah.
here? Are you gonna buy if I
Yeah.
really sit here for 10 minutes begging you and try to convince you it's not a scam? Are you really gonna be like, cool, here's my credit card? No. So, like, stop the foolishness, man. We just went through this whole call, and one guy was just like, oh, well, it's like you could be scamming people to make money, da da da. And I'm like, dude, if I wanted to scam people, you think we would set up a website, set up a funnel, get someone on a call, go through this whole sales process, fake all the testimonials and everything, just to collect a couple thousand? Wouldn't
Yeah,
I
it's
just
a
do
lot of
something
effort.
where wouldn't I just do something where you could just like swipe your credit card for 10, 20 bucks and it could just get high volume and make tons of money? Like, why would I sit here for an hour with you just for a scam? Like, I remember I did door-to-door sales for 3 years, and some people would tell me that too. They'd be like, oh, how do I know it's not a scam? I'm like, dude, you think I'd be out here knocking door to door to scam? Like,
Yeah.
are you serious right now? There's much better ways to scam money than to freaking knock doors, dude. Like, what are we talking about? How many people do you think I sell per day to be scamming, dude? Like,
Yeah.
like,
But
dude, I
would
would have
you-
sweetened the deal if it was.
Yeah, you'd make it easier on yourself.
Yeah.
You'd make it easier on yourself. Would you say when they say anything of a scam or like fraud or whatever, would you say it's like them trying to put up a front to like sort of understand where you're at and what
Well,
kind of angle you're coming from?
Sometimes it's a front. Sometimes they're but that's the thing. If it's genuine fear, because like, for example, this is something you get out when you're talking about like, what have you tried in the past? Usually it's someone that's just like, oh, I've been scammed in the past before, and then you just like dig into it and you ask them questions about it and you make them feel more secure. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But that usually comes
Yep.
out way, way before the point where you've already dropped price and all that, and they're just like, oh, how do I know it's not a scam? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. There's a couple questions here. Forrest, you had a question, man, and then we'll hear yours, Spencer.
Yeah, cool. So I brought this up in one of the meetings yesterday, and I think it was helpful, but I was encouraged to ask you this as well. So how do you know when you've basically dug up enough pain and got them to feel that enough for you to then transition into the next stages? Is there, like you talked about crying. So like obviously if someone's crying, they're deeply feeling it. There may
Well,
be some other
can't-
indicators,
You can't talk about it forever.
right?
It's not just this unlimited well of problem to talk about. So all you're doing is you're just asking questions so you have full clarity. Right? Like, for example, for this guy that Miguel's talking to, it's like, okay, what's the problem? He's failing at running ads. Okay, what did he try to run ads? He tried this. How did that go? Like, you ask enough questions so that there's really no other information you could gather about it, and then you move on. It's like, what else is there to ask once you figured out everything he's done to try it, how it's affecting him, how long he's tried it for. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
just get full context. It's not this
Right.
unlimited well of context. Like, you can't just keep, what did you wear that day that you launched Facebook ads? Like, obviously, be realistic with, like, it has to make sense, but it's once you fully understand the problem and everything's out on the table, then you can move on. Same thing with goals. Once you fully understand the goal and why it's their goal, then move on.
Right. I guess to that extent, I mean, there's degrees at which we feel we've gotten to the bottom of things, depending on who the salesperson is. So I totally hear what you're saying. I just don't know if I'm as good of a judge of that as you are. And so, I mean, would you say there's any like common characteristics of the people who when you've
Well,
gotten to that
you
point?
just know who, what, where, when, and why. You know what I mean? Like, it's not it's not a thing to be judged. It's just okay. I know this guy wants to get better at cars, like get better at selling cars.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's his current situation? He sells cars here. He's been working there for this long. Since he's been there, he sold this many cars. He sells this many cars per month. What has he tried to sell more cars? He's tried Facebook ads. How did that go? He spent $60. He got 0 leads. He launched 2 different campaigns, it sounds like. He bought a course. This is like, he was able to implement XYZ from the course.
Mm-hmm.
What
Like
other
how that
context
makes
is
it
there?
feel, or like
Like,
how the
he tried for 3 months.
right.
Did dropping from 4 to 2 sales affect him financially? Yes. In what way?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he missed a couple bills, or maybe he lives with his parents and it didn't matter that much. Maybe we can ask how it made him feel, but it really just depends if there's like, but at the same time, it's like, what other context could Miguel have gotten other than what I just listed out? Like, I mean, is there any
Right.
other things he tried? No. Okay. So we got all the context. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
So
I
it's
just
just,
wasn't
yeah,
sure, I wasn't, yeah, I
you'll get
appreciate
better
that.
at it, man. You'll get better at it. Like, over time, you'll just
Right.
start to
Like
know. You
people
know what I
wear
mean?
their pain in different ways. And so like I could be talking to one person and I can really get a sense that they're feeling it, whereas other people, I feel like I've exhausted my questions and I don't get the sense that they're like really feeling it. So
Well,
I just
it's not even always about the pain, right? Like, everyone's motivated by either running away from pain or running towards a goal. Some people are just more goal oriented than pain focused.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
to if I'm selling a make money online offer, and it's like a 16-year-old kid lives with his parents, doesn't have any bills, doesn't even pay his phone bill, and he's not hurting for cash or anything, like, how much pain can I really dig into? Not much, but what I can dig into is the pain of not being at the goal. What I can dig into is why he wants the goal, how he feel to achieve it, why is it important to him? You're just gonna spend more time in the goal section than you spend in the pain section. You're just pressing on both so that you can identify what's more important for that person, and spend more time there for that person. Versus like the 16-year-old kid versus the dad of 3 kids who's making it, doing paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to spend more time in the pain section, probably going to spend a decent amount of time in the goal section as well. But it's probably going to be like, let's say he just wants to get out of his job and become a consultant. Like, I'm probably going to spend more time there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. I've talked to people and they even say like they cut me off and they're like, "Man, I'm just, so excited. Like you just talking to me and telling me this, I haven't even gotten anywhere near a pitch, but the emotions I'm causing them to feel, they are cutting me off and saying like, "Man, this just sounds awesome." But that came around like the goals area, not necessarily in the pain. So I totally get what you're saying. Like some people are more oriented towards talking and letting go in the goal section than in the pain section. So yeah, I appreciate that input, man. Thank you.
100%. Spencer, did you have a quick question? And then any
Yeah,
time we have
that
left,
you totally just answered it. But another thing I was gonna ask was kind of about when you get asked about being a scam type thing. There was this college student who I was I was on a call with, and he toward the end of it, he was like, "Okay, can I interview you for a second?" And he asked me all these questions about my credibility, and the tone of it was kind of cocky. So I felt like I was pushing back, and I was kind of frustrated. But I guess like my question is, how do you distinguish what you were saying as far as like genuine fear of something being a scam, or do you just base it off of whether you think a question is genuine, or if it's just like they're just putting up a smoke screen or something?
Well, if, like it depends on what questions he's asking. You know what I mean? And like yeah, it just depends on what he's asking you. You know, like is he
Yeah.
because like it shouldn't be that many questions to verify or hear about your credibility. If someone's literally just like they don't see much about you, all they see is an Instagram page, and they just like it's a fair question to be like what makes you the authority on this, and then you just tell them confidently. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Like don't let it like literally that like just don't let it phase you. It's like sit in your confidence. You know?
Yeah, it was like kind of right between, like I could tell he wanted some clarity and it was a genuine question, but some of it was like felt like it was just pushing back.
Dude, if they're like really adamant about it being a scam, then they just be like so then don't buy it, dude. Like if you're that scared, we don't have to do this. Like we don't have to like this like if you do the call right, you shouldn't get many of those, anyway. So it's just like when they do come, it's just like, well, listen, if you're that scared, if you really believe it's a scam, we don't have to do this. I mean, at the end of the day, and that's where you avoid some of that by transitioning, by having them tell you to pitch them and having them tell you to give the price. It's like, dude, you told me to break down for you how we could work together. You asked me to give you the price. Like, we don't have to do this, man. You know?
Yeah.
It's on them. If they want to believe it as a scam, it's a them problem, not a me problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's all you. Because like at the end of the day, you got on this call, you opted in, you whatever, because you needed help. So if you want to go back to struggling with your problem, then that's your decision. You're a grown adult, or you're a human being. You can make decisions, and if you decide to keep struggling with your problem, enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right? But that's the thing. It's like when you hit it with that confidence, like they're gonna want to buy because they're like, oh, like a scammer wouldn't say that. Because like think about it, like what would a scammer say if you asked them, are they a scam? He would defend it. Like so then what like it's like what can you tell them? What can you do? Nothing, So just leave it at that.
Right,
I did want to look at the presentation piece here. Don't have enough time to get to it, Miguel. I apologize for that. I think he hopped off because he had another call. But yeah, overall he was asking good questions. I'm curious to see how the presentation went, but yeah, just getting more details so far from what we saw. Be super valuable for this call. But yeah, hope you guys all learned something from this call. Hope it was valuable for you. As usual, if it was, post something in the community. Get more people on here. Get more questions being asked. Can only make the call as valuable as the questions that get asked, and then we can really make sure you guys are crushing out sales. Just take one thing. Don't try to implement like a million things. Take one thing that you thought is the most relevant for your sales game right now and plug that in, implement that, and just get a little bit better week by week. That's the easiest way to just continuously grow. Sound good? Awesome.
Thank
I'm
you very much.
gonna get this recording posted in the community.